Hi, my name is Bibek Adhikari. I am your English instructor. In today's class, we are going to solve the reading portion of Unit 4, that is Biography. And in this reading portion, we are going to study the biography of Ganesh Man Singh, the Iron Man. So, let's begin. Right, we are now going to start the reading portion of Unit 4, which is about the Iron Man, Ganesh Man Singh. So, let's begin by reading his biography. Ganesh Man Singh is publicly acclaimed as well as acceptable leader of democracy. It is a sign of respect that all the Nepalese show towards him that they call him Supreme Leader. He was born to a well-to-do family on November 9, 1915 in Itumbahal, Kathmandu as the son of Gyan Man Singh and Sanunani Shrestha Singh. His father died when he was 6. So his grandfather Ratna Man Singh brought him up. He studied in Dawa High School till grade 6, when he was expelled from the school for not respecting his fellow students who were Ranas. He went to India to continue his studies. After completing his ISc from Vidyasagar College, he returned to Nepal. As soon as he returned to Nepal, he planned to protest against the autocratic rulers of Nepal. In 1940, he joined the Praja Parishad, the first political party in Nepal. Unfortunately, he was arrested on October 18, 1940. Though he was sentenced to life in prison for anti-Rana activities, he ultimately escaped from Bhadragol jail in 1944. After that, he fled to India. In 1949, he became one of the founding members of the Nepali Congress. Following this, he played a significant role to overthrow the Rana regime in 1950. In 1958, he became a cabinet minister. However, after the coup by late King Mahendra on 31st December 1960, he was arrested and kept at Sundarizal military detention camp for 8 years. Yet, he refused to let his spirit be broken. Instead, he became one of the main leaders advocating democracy in Nepal after he was arrested on 30th October 1968. He spent many years struggling against the partyless panchayat system. Finally, he led the Nepalese democratic movement in 1990, which overthrew the panchayat system. After the restoration of democracy in 1990, he transcended above the party politics. Later, he started working in favor of the nation and her people. Sadly, the Iron Man died on September 18, 1997 in Chaskibari, Kathmandu. Ganesh Man Singh was awarded the United Nations Peace Run Prize in 1990. Moreover, he was the first Asian to be honored with the United Nations Human Rights Award, which he received in 1993. He was the first commoner to receive the state funeral in Nepal. Correct. So that is the end of our biography. Now we must ask ourselves, why should we study something called biography? What's the use of studying it? Why should we study biography? Another reason is, who are the different people whose life we need to study and analyze? Which biography should we study? And how should we study the biography? So these are some of the questions and that they need to be answered, and we'll try to answer them. So let's try answering these questions. Let us now start by learning what biography really is. Right, let's first answer what biography really is. A biography is the story of a real person's life written by someone other than the person. So it is a story about a person, real life, written by someone other than the person. What that means is it is usually a written history of a person's life that is, written. To understand biography, we can compare biography with another form of writing which is called autobiography. Something called autobiography, and we can compare biography with autobiography, right? So autobiography is written by the person himself or herself, while biography is written by someone else. So that is the distinctive difference between biography and autobiography. There's another form of writing which is commonly known as memoir. So this memoir applies to all kind of writing where a person is involved, and the common name for those personal narratives is memoir. And memoir is really short. It's about a day, it could be about a month, but it is not from the beginning of someone's birth to someone's death, correct? While biography is all about the life and times of a person, and autobiography is also the same, but it is written by the person himself or herself, while memoir is a brief snapshot of a person's life. Let's say there was some interesting event recorded back in the narrator's childhood days, and he or she wants to recollect those accounts. And the way of doing that is by writing a memoir. Biography is also called bio in short, which is informal. Biography equals to life. So whenever we talk about biography, we are talking about life of a person. Now let us go and solve the exercise portions of this chapter. Right, now let us solve the first question, which is called Ways with Words. This is a vocabulary question, and there are some words given in the rectangular bracket. From there, you need to fill in the blanks. There are some questions. There are 5 questions, in fact. I'm only going to solve 3 questions. Rest 2 you can solve yourself. These questions are pretty easy. I think so. So let's start with the first one. There are many political parties in Nepal. We live in a multi-party world. Multi-party democracy. Correct. Democracy. We live in a multi-party democracy. Easy. Period. If students break school rules and regulations, they can be expelled. Pretty easy. Though he was sentenced to life in prison, he blank space from the jail. He escaped from the jail. Correct. Now let's go and solve the vocabulary portion, question number 2 of the vocabulary section. Alright, now I'm going to solve the 3 questions like the first one. The first word that we have is called transcend. What does the word transcend mean? It means to be or go beyond the usual limits of something. So let's write that down. To be or go beyond the usual limits of something. We have the second word, coup. What does coup mean? It means sudden and unlawful change. Right? Let's go to the last one. It's called restoration. What does the word restoration mean? It means bringing back a system that existed previously. Right? Pretty easy, this one also. The rest too you can do yourself. Let's go to the question answer section. Read and answer. There are questions like who is Ganesh Man Singh, where was he born, where did he study, why was he expelled from Darbar High School. Pretty easy question, so let's choose one out of all those questions. I'm choosing number D. Why was he expelled from Darbar High School? Why was he expelled from Darbar High School? And the obvious answer to that question is he was expelled from Darbar High School for not respecting the fellow Ranas, or by not respecting the fellow students who were Ranas. Correct? So the question is in past tense. We should also write in past tense. He was expelled from Darbar High School for not respecting his fellow students who were the Ranas. Right? Just write to the point answer. There's no need to write a long winding kind of answer. There are some other questions like why did he join the Praja Parishad? Why was he sentenced to life in prison? When was the Panchayat system overthrown? So these questions are pretty easy. I think you can do it. So why did he join Praja Parishad? So to fight against the autocratic Rana rulers. Why was he sentenced to life in prison? Because of that demonstration and all that work that he did to overthrow the Rana reign. So Ranas were pretty unhappy, and that's why they sent him to prison. Right, this is your homework. As we have reached the end of the class, I'm going to give you some homework. Your homework is to select a renowned person in your locality. It could be anyone renowned, I mean. So collect some important information about him, her, right? You can go to the library, you can talk to the people, you can follow any of the several methods that are available, and then write a biography of that person. So you need to write a really nice biography of that person as your homework. Right? Pretty easy. So with this we have come to end of today's class. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding this video series, feel free to write us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you.